Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I haven't spoken about this before, but I get a monthly subscription in the mail to the Sketchbox art supplies. There's a lot of different subscriptions that you can get out there. This is one that I really enjoy. It's called Sketchbox, and you can get them in two styles. You can get them in a regular like arts and crafts supply box, or you can get them in a premium art supply box. I pay for the premium art supply box, and it costs $35 a month plus postage, which I believe is $5. So it's about a $40 a month subscription. But you get a lot of supplies in these boxes. So every month they come with a different artist's artwork on the front. Last month I had giraffes, and then I've had them that have had Zentangle all over them. They're really cute. But every month they look different. And let's go ahead and look inside the Sketchbox and see what I got. So let me just get it open here. And we will see what I got. Okay, they always come with two cards. First is the July Featured Artist of the Month. Her name is Kiana. This is her artwork. She's a 22-year-old artist living in Phoenix, Arizona. It's always been a passion of hers since she was a child. She went into the military, then followed her dream to become an animation student. She wants to be an animation artist. And she said that the one piece of advice that stuck with her from an art teacher was, be the sponge. Soak up as much knowledge and inspiration as you can, and always be a curious artist. That's really cool. So this is her artwork. It says meow on here, but that looks like a deer to me. Doesn't it? It looks like a deer. I don't know. Maybe she's just saying meow, like she's sexy or something. I don't know. And then also in the box, you get this thing that tells you about the supplies that you receive for the month and how you can use them. This month it tells you what I got. It says what I got, but it doesn't say anything about how to use them. I think it's pretty standard. So let's see. I got a lot of stuffing, as usual. And it looks like it's watercolor month. Last month was pastel month, and I got pan pastels and all the tools that go along with it, which was really cool because I've never owned any pan pastels, and I am a pastel artist, so I really like pastels, but I love watercolor too, and that's where I started. When I first went into art, I was taking watercolor classes at the local college, and that's what got me started into the whole art thing. But this is the first item that I was given. It is watercolor postcards by De La Roni. They're 100% cotton, size A6, and they're 140 pound, 300 GSM. And it looks like there's like 10 or 20 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's probably 12 there. That's pretty cool. Then I got a Princeton size 4 bamboo brush with real bristles. Look at the point on that thing. That's really cool. That's really cool. I'm going to try to carefully put this back together without snagging it. Then I got a Sketchbox signature water brush, and it has, the cap has a little catch for your pocket if you're into that, and it has probably a size large brush on the tip. And I don't know if this has a valve in it or not. No valve, it's just empty like the other water brushes. The ones that I love are those Kuretake Feud brushes that have the valve in them. We'll see if this releases too much water or not. I'll give it a test. It clicks on really well too. And let's see about this end. Looks like the cap stays on the end pretty well. Hopefully it won't stretch and I won't lose it. Then I got a tube of Cotman Sap Green, Winsor Newton Cotman Sap Green watercolor. And I got Daniel Smith Phthalo Turquoise. and another Daniel Smith, alizarin crimson. The Daniel Smith watercolors are the, whoops, it's not a video without me dropping something, right? The Daniel Smith watercolors are the small tubes. These are the 5 ml tubes. The bigger tubes cost a ton of money, so. And then this one is an 8 ml tube. That's the regular size, I think, for the Cotman, but I'm not sure. So that's what I got. Now on the card, it should give the prices. Yeah, it says that I got 2 Daniel Smith extra fine watercolors, and the retail is $9.15 a piece. Then the Winsor Newton Cotman watercolors retailed at $4.49, so that's almost $15 right there. Princeton Bamboo watercolor brush is retailed at $6.15, so that's $20. The De La Rowney watercolor postcards are retailed at $9.59, so that's just under $30. Then the Sketchbox signature water brush is retailed at $5.50, so that brings us to $35. And so you get $35 worth of supplies. That's in the premium set. In the other set, you get, I don't know if it's $25 or $28 worth of supplies or something like that. But anyway, so now that I've got these supplies, why don't I just do a quick little painting with the postcard and the supplies that I have here, and we'll see what I can come up with. Stay tuned. Okay, so here I'm laying out the 3 tubes of paint. I thought I had all of these 3 colors in my palette already, but the only one I ended up having was the alizarin crimson. The other 2 I did not have in my travel palette. So I'm putting them out here. And then the only thing that I'm using that was not in the Sketchbox was this pencil and some water and paper towel. Other than that, I'm using the brushes that were given to me and only these 3 paints. And we will do some mixing so that you can see, even with a very limited palette, how much you could do with those 3 strange colors. Here I'm laying out a diluted mix of the ultramarine turquoise for my sky. And then I'm going to go back over it a little bit darker and then add in some alizarin crimson. But I was expecting it to turn a bit purplish, and it ended up more gray because I think there's a lot of green in that phthalo turquoise. I think I said ultramarine turquoise, but that's not what I meant. And here I'm going to show you a difference in these colors. That green, you can see how much it takes for me to mix that green, where with the other 2 Daniel Smith colors, all I do is dab and it's mixed. That's it. So you can see the difference in an artist quality paint and how much mixing it takes just to get that green to flow. It's still good color, but if it's all you can afford, that's great. Don't buy something out of your price range just because somebody told you that it's not good quality. It is good quality student watercolor. And if you buy something out of your price range, you're going to end up not wanting to use it because it costs you so much money. So I've been there before. And I just put the grass in, and I'll be going over that again. In fact, I think I did. I added a little bit of alizarin crimson. You can see a little bit of the brownish color on the left. And now I'm mixing for the water just the phthalo turquoise. That's all I'm using there. And I'm wetting this down, but I dripped water up into the sky, so it's going to change the horizon line, but I'm not worried about it. I'll dry it off there a bit, but it's going to be a little messy. But the leaves on my trees are going to cover it up, so I'm not worried about that. So I'm just dropping in the phthalo turquoise, and then I'm going to go around the trees a bit. I don't want to cover them and mess up the mix on the tree trunk. So I also dropped a little bit of the alizarin crimson in just so I could match the sky a little bit, the reflection. And then I'll go over and do the other side. And then I'm going to need to let this dry again. Unfortunately, I don't wait long enough, and my tree trunks on the left are going to bleed into the water a bit, but I fixed that near the end of the painting. So by just widening my tree trunks just a little bit, that's all I needed to do. I'm just dragging a little of the blue across to make it a little deeper in the background. And the way the light's shining on it right now, I wish it could stay that way because it almost looks like the sun is sparkling on the water like it would in real life. But of course, it's not going to stay like that, so enjoy it while I can. And now I'm mixing up my color. I'll bring it into frame a little bit for you. I'm mixing all three colors together, the green and the red, to make a brown, and then I bring the blue in to gray it down a little bit in order to make the color for my tree trunk. I thought I brought it in frame. Here I am. Now I'm going to bring it in frame and show you that I've mixed all three colors together. Now I need to add a little more red and then a little more of the blue in order to gray it down. And there, that's where I get the tree trunk color. That's exactly the color I wanted. So I pretty much have all the color I needed just to do this picture. And I'm just filling in the tree trunks here. You didn't need to watch me do that. Although this brush, the Princeton 4 bamboo brush, is really a nice brush. And for such a low price, you really get a good point on that brush. They say it can be used for calligraphy as well. Now here I'm just putting down a base layer of the sap green. I had to lay more sap green out on the palette. That was the second time. I actually lay sap green down 3 times on my palette and don't need to add any of the Daniel Smith again. So I used probably, well, it was much more than 3 times, because 3 times as much, because with each time I laid down the green, I laid down twice as much green as I did the Daniel Smith colors. So I probably used at least 5 times as much green as I did the blue and the red. And here I'm showing you I just laid more green down, and I'm still using the same colors of the other ones. Although I did use a little more green. I don't know, the phthalo blue, the phthalo turquoise I used more of, though. That covers pretty much the whole postcard. But phthalo is always a stronger pigment anyway. But if you can afford those kinds of paints, it's worthwhile to get them because you end up using less of them in the long run. Now here I'm mixing 3 greens. I've got my sap green, and then I'm mixing a deeper sap green with that red, and then I'm laying that down over the other green. I'm scattering it around to make it look like leaves, but I don't want each leaf showing. You want to have some bunching of the branches still going on, which is why I lay the base color green down. And then once I'm done with that, I go back and I'm going to lay the deeper blue-green mix down to add more depth to the color of the tree. The more colors you add, the better. Now, if I had a yellow, I would have used that also to add some character to the tree. And then I just lay a little more purple in there, and it deepens that green in order to make it look like there's shadowing on the grass. And then that is it for my painting. Everybody have a great day.